is Haraldur Thorleifsson. I'm a creative director at an agency called Awwwards. I run pretty much all the aspects of the creative process there. I think this past year or two have been fairly significant in my career. We started the agency about a year ago, and the team that we've built and the projects that we're getting are getting bigger and more exciting. So there's not one thing that stands out, but this 2014 was a very big year. So we have our main office is in Iceland, where I'm from, and then we're setting up a new office in San Francisco. But we also work with freelancers from all over the world. So on some projects we might have people in 4 or 5 continents, and we typically use mostly Slack for text communications, and then Google Hangouts or Skype for in-person talks. I think a really great web designer understands the whole process. He or she tries to not just think about the design, but also the business aspects and the technology behind it, trying to see how the design can actually be accomplished and pushed live. I definitely prefer running my own company. The best aspects are the projects get bigger. You obviously you get to hire people, so you get to build a really fantastic team. But it's also very stressful because with a big team, you have to make sure that everybody has enough to do, and these people have lives and families. So yeah. It's you have to be sure that you have projects to support them. I lived in Tokyo for 6 months, and they had a fairly underdeveloped web design scene. They have very confusing aesthetics, not a very big community. Lived in South America, it was similar there. I think in terms of design, Europe and well, especially Europe is always in my mind at the forefront, and then America sort of picks up the talent from Europe. So my talk was about shipping projects, whether that's websites or apps or any kind of project. And the reason I talked about that is because we work with a lot of designers, and many of them don't really get to see a lot of their work go live. They have these projects sitting on their hard drives. Nobody gets to see them, and it's a huge waste in my mind. So I wanted to talk about a few of the principles or rules that we try and set out when we approach new projects to make sure that what we work on will eventually go live. So I hope that people will, can use some of those principles.
Okay.
So we don't waste design talent and time. Yeah, definitely. I think a few of them are here. People like Claudio Guglieri Tobias von Snyder. On the agency side, Hello Monday is a huge inspiration. So yeah, there's a lot of really talented people in our industry. Well, I hope that slowly the web industry is gonna grow and be able to overtake things like apps and native controls, so that we can have a unified experience, something that can work across platform and it doesn't have the maintenance issues that we have with native apps. But that's I think fairly a fair way off, but I hope we'll get there. I wouldn't call it a hobby, but we have a daughter. And so when I'm not working, I try and spend as much time as I can with her. She's turning 3, so everything is new to her. So we try and teach her about life and try and have her experience as much diversity as she can, so she can make up her own mind when it comes time for her to pick what to do. And so I think that's most of my time. I also play a few instruments, so when I have time, I do that as well. I think it's always a big boost when you win side of the day award or side of the month. They are good for the team that work on them. It gives them a pat on the back. It's good for the clients because sometimes they don't maybe understand fully understand the quality that goes into these. So they look at these kind of international awards as acknowledgements of that they can use internally as well. And then, it helps when we bring in new clients. They see that we've worked on projects that have been internationally recognized by our peers. So that, yeah, it helps on every level.